On September 1939, the world stands at the edge of an abyss. Empires in crisis, nations armed to the teeth, and one man convinced he can conquer the world. This is the story of the deadliest conflict in human history, told through the map that changed everything. September 1st, 1939, Germany launches the Blitzkrieg, lightning war. Tanks, aircraft, and infantry strike simultaneously from three sides. The Polish cavalry, brave but outmatched, charges against steel. Within hours, Luftwaffe bombs rain on Warsaw. 2 days later, Britain and France declare war. But it's already too late. Then, on September 17th, a second blow from the east. The Soviet Union invades. Crushed between two superpowers, Poland falls in just 36 days. The map is already redrawn. For 8 months, almost nothing happens. The French shelter behind the Maginot Line, a fortress they believe impenetrable. But on May 10th, 1940, Hitler unleashes his masterstroke. German forces cut through the Ardennes forest, terrain the French believed impassable for tanks. In 10 days, they reach the English Channel, trapping 400,000 Allied soldiers at Dunkirk. In a miracle of improvisation, 338,000 are evacuated by civilian boats. But France is finished. On June 22nd, 1940, France surrenders. In 46 days, Hitler achieves what the Kaiser could not in 4 years of World War I. Britain stands alone. Hitler demands surrender. Churchill refuses. So the Luftwaffe launches the greatest aerial battle in history. 2,600 German aircraft against 650 British Spitfires and Hurricanes. Every day for months, the skies over England become a battlefield. German pilots hit airfields, factories, radar stations. Britain's RAF fights with everything it has. Then Hitler makes a critical mistake. He shifts bombing to London, the Blitz, giving RAF time to recover. By October 1940, the invasion of Britain is cancelled. As Churchill famously says, "Never was so much owed by so many to so few." While Europe burns, the war expands across 2 new fronts. In North Africa, Mussolini's Italy attacks British Egypt and fails spectacularly. Hitler sends his most brilliant general, Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, to save Italy. Rommel's Africa Corps sweeps across Libya and pushes to the gates of Egypt. In the Balkans, Hitler invades Yugoslavia and Greece in just weeks, securing his southern flank. The map of the Mediterranean is transformed. But Hitler's eyes are already fixed east, on a prize so massive it will decide the entire war. June 22nd, 1941. Hitler makes the decision that will ultimately destroy him. Operation Barbarossa, the largest military invasion in human history. 3 million German soldiers, 3,500 tanks, 2,700 aircraft attack along a 2,900-kilometer front. The Soviet army is caught completely off guard. In the first weeks, Germany advances hundreds of kilometers, capturing millions of prisoners. Stalin is in shock, hidden in his dacha for days. But the Soviet Union is vast beyond imagination. As summer turns to autumn and autumn to winter, the German advance slows, then stops. On December 5th, 1941, just 15 kilometers from Moscow, the Red Army counterattacks in temperatures of -40 degrees. Germany's war of quick conquest has become a war of attrition. And that is a war Germany cannot win. December 7th, 1941, a date that will live in infamy. While Germany fights in Europe and Russia, Japan, hungry for resources and empire, launches a surprise attack on the United States Navy at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. 353 Japanese aircraft destroy the Pacific Fleet in 2 hours. The next day, America declares war on Japan. 3 days later, Hitler declares war on America. his greatest single mistake. The sleeping giant has awakened. Japan's Pacific Empire expands at stunning speed. Philippines, Singapore, Burma, Dutch East Indies all fall within months. But Japan has gambled everything on America not fighting back. They were wrong. 1942. Germany launches a new massive offensive in the east, driving toward the Caucasus oil fields and a city on the Volga River, Stalingrad. For Hitler, it's a symbol. For Stalin, it's his name. What begins as an advance becomes the most brutal urban battle in history. For 6 months, Germans and Soviets fight house by house, room by room, sometimes staircase by staircase. Then, on November 19th, 1942, the Soviet Operation Uranus strikes, not at Stalingrad, but at the Romanian flanks protecting it. The encirclement is complete in days. 300,000 German soldiers are trapped. Meanwhile, in North Africa, British General Montgomery crushes Rommel at El Alamein. The tide has turned on every front. February 2nd, 1943, the German 6th Army at Stalingrad surrenders. 91,000 survivors march into Soviet captivity. Only 6,000 will ever return home. The world watches and understands Germany can be beaten. June 6th, 1944, D-Day, the greatest amphibious operation in human history. 156,000 Allied troops cross the English Channel and land on 5 beaches in Normandy, France, under fire. At Omaha Beach, Americans face withering machine gun fire. Casualties are catastrophic, but they do not stop. By nightfall, the beachhead is established. Paris is liberated on August 25th. Brussels, Antwerp, Amsterdam follow. Meanwhile, on the Eastern Front, Operation Bagration, the largest Soviet offensive ever, destroys an entire German army group in weeks. Germany is now squeezed from both sides. By December, Allied forces reach the German border itself. Hitler makes one final desperate gamble, the Battle of the Bulge. It fails. The road to Berlin is open. April 1945. 2 million Soviet soldiers encircle Berlin. Hitler refuses to leave the city, directing phantom armies from his underground bunker. The Battle of Berlin is house by house, street by street, the last desperate stand of a regime built on terror. Above ground, Berlin burns. Underground, Hitler marries Eva Braun and dictates his final testament, blaming everyone but himself. On April 30th, 1945, Adolf Hitler shoots himself. 1 week later, on May 8th, Germany surrenders unconditionally. Victory in Europe, VE Day. After nearly 6 years and an estimated 70 to 85 million dead, the war in Europe is over. But the war is not over. In the Pacific, Japan fights on with suicidal ferocity. Kamikaze pilots crash their planes into Allied warships. On Iwo Jima and Okinawa, American forces suffer staggering casualties taking tiny islands. Military planners estimate an invasion of Japan itself could cost 1 million Allied lives. Then, on August 6, 1945, a single B-29 bomber drops 1 bomb on Hiroshima. A city is erased in seconds. 80,000 people die instantly. 3 days later, Nagasaki. On August 15th, Emperor Hirohito speaks on radio for the first time, announcing surrender. On September 2nd, 1945, aboard the USS Missouri in Tokyo Bay, Japan signs the formal surrender. World War II is over. World War II. 6 years. Over 30 countries involved. Between 70 and 85 million lives lost. More than any conflict in human history. The map of the world was redrawn forever. Empires collapsed. New superpowers rose. The Cold War began. But out of the ashes came also a determination. Never again. The United Nations was born. Human rights were codified. The horrors of this war became the foundation of a new world order. The map changed. The question now, as it always has been, is what we do with the world we've inherited. Subscribe to the channel to follow the next videos and amazing stories of our planet explained on the map, so you can understand how it all happened.